Gotta love sports.
Welcome to the Shot Clock, where we're talking sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. I'm your host, Mina SayWhat, and we're 100% digital, 100% live, and 100% real. Let's count them down. Yes. Welcome to the Shot Clock. This is our digital sports show. I'm Mina SayWhat. I am happy to be here today for Women's History Month. We are honoring one woman every week. We have the honorable, the legendary Coach Staley joining us later on in the show. So excited about that because she's literally in the middle of her season. But you know the premise of the show. We put ourselves on the shot clock, 20 minutes on the clock. Let's go. I want to bring in my co-host right now, Terrell Thomas, Senior Sports and Entertainment Editor for These Urban Times. Terrell, is daylight savings time kicking your ass today?
No, it isn't. Thank God. But I'm happy to be here. Good to see you this morning. Happy for a wonderful show.
Yeah, me too. Listen, I got up early for this. I was like, "Ooh, we got Coach Staley on today." So look, let's get into the playbook because I'm really excited about today's show. This is where we talk about the top trending stories, sports stories, basketball stories here in Philly. Now, big story this weekend. Big story. Our guy, Joel Embiid, gave us a big scare. During Friday's game against the Wizards, Joel took a tumble. It almost ripped my heart out my chest. Watch this.
Harris back to Embiid. Oh my gosh. And Embiid is down with his knee. That did not look good. Oh no. There's a foul committed. Oh no. The left.
Oh no. That was exactly what was going on in my head. The championship dreams just flashed before my eyes. Now, thankfully, it is just a bone bruise, okay? They're going to reevaluate the knee in 2 weeks. They're saying he's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks, which is really the rest of March. T, do you think this is going to hurt Joel's candidacy for MVP?
I think it could cause a small damper. I don't think anyone has a large enough lead, though. Joel's still even missing 2 to 3 weeks as my MVP. I'm just glad it's not long lasting and that we'll get to see him again this season.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it'll hurt him much. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the team steps up. You know, we've been talking about what we need to do in order to beat Brooklyn, in order to get to the championship. We need our contributing players to really start contributing in a more consistent way. We're starting to see it from Curry. We're starting to see it from Danny Green. He had a phenomenal game yesterday, but I agree. And people have to remember, he's 280 pounds. He's 7 feet tall. What he's doing on the court, I don't even know if that's natural. At some point, your body's going to be like, no, I give up. I need to relax, calm down. So I see kind of, you know how we are in Philly. I see people starting to have the conversations about how he is injury prone. I want to remind people of his stats because he's a big guy doing a lot of things, not only on the offense, but also on the defense. So let's give him a little credit. He'll be all right. He's bounced back from injuries before that weren't as like career ending as this is. So, or even season ending. So let's be positive. And when Joel comes back, he's definitely going to be giving us 30-35 because that's the kind of guy he is, okay? Tobias Harris has spoken out about not being named an all-star. You know, we were lobbying for him to get that honor this year. This is what he said. Was I upset with all-star? Of course. But I've played at an all-star level night in, night out. And listen, if Philly fans understand that I'm an all-star, these are the same fans that would have probably escorted me out my house last year. If they understood, then I'm good. The Philly fans understand. And Tobias is absolutely right about this. What you need? You need help packing, Tobias? Listen, in Philly, we give you tough love, and we will get you together if you are not together. So that's what he's been seeing from us, tough love. Don't you agree, Terrell?
Yeah, and he summed it up greatly. Like last season, folks were ready to help him escort his way out of the 215 area. And this year, getting his coach Doc Rivers back and kind of refining his game is great to see that he is performing on a night in and night out basis.
Yeah, I mean, I always say if you can make it in Philly, you can make it anywhere because people are honest. And if you're not performing to their expectations, they will let you know. And some people can't take it. Like Carson Wentz, he wanted out of here so fast. When the media started talking about him, he could not handle it. So you got to have thick skin and you got to understand that it's all for the bigger purpose, like to make you better as a player. And if you can deal with that, you're going to be a phenomenal player because we're always going to check you. Look at Joel. Joel revels in what we do. Like Joel was built for this crowd, So speaking of the crowd, shout out to everybody who attended the very first home Sixers game. 3,000 fans were in the building. I heard that the 3,000 fans sounded like a packed stadium and a packed arena. That's how excited they were. So I'm excited to get back to these games, okay? Let's get into March Madness. You know it is March, and you know what happens. Get that, virtual office bracket ready. The NCAA March Madness bracket is out. Now, it's a little weird this year, okay? All the games are going to be played in or around Indianapolis, one game at a time, okay, at different locations. All the teams are going to be housed on different floors. They're going to have their own meeting spaces, their own dining rooms. They're going to have secure transportation to and from the games. Now, there are even teams on standby in case someone can't make it on Thursday for whatever reason. And we know that normally the games are separated by regions. Obviously, they didn't do that this year. So now it's separated by ranking. So I know it's difficult to see, T, but I feel like this year it's like anybody can win, with COVID and kind of the changes. How are you feeling about, the bracket this year?
I agree with you on that. Anyone can win. I think that's the beauty of March Madness. I like how they're still trying to keep everything close, keep everything together. I think that's a smart idea. But I do think we need to be on the lookout, of course, for Villanova. Villanova always does their thing, but a few teams that we just know that are always going to be in. I think we need to keep our eyes out on Michigan, keep our eyes out on Gonzaga, and keep our eyes out on the Big East champs, Georgetown.
Right. So locally, we got a couple teams. We got to watch for Drexel is taking on Illinois. Drexel's 16th seed, number 1 seed, no Duke. Damn, Sean, right? No Duke. They're playing Friday at 1:15 TBS. Villanova's number 5. They're going up against Winthrop. They're a number 12 seed. That's at 9:57 p.m. on TNT. And then Rutgers, New Jersey, number 10, going up against Clemson, number 7. That should be a really good game. 9:20 p.m. on TBS on Friday night. Okay. And then the NCAA championship game goes down Monday, April 5th at 9 o'clock. And of course, the women's NCAA selection is tonight. Okay, that is going down tonight, 7 p.m. on ESPN. All right, let's get into one of our word from one of our sponsors.
We've seen how far this game can go, so we take it and run.
Making moves like nobody.
For everybody.
We don't move within the lines.
We move beyond them. Hennessy, the spirit of the NBA.
Welcome back to the Shot Clock. It's our digital sports show. I'm Mina SayWhat. Terrell Thomas joining me today. We are right on time, baby, right on time. And for a legend, really, I have truly looked forward to the day where I get to talk to this woman. We're honoring her for Women's History Month. Dawn Staley, her name rings so many bells here in Philly. She's currently the head coach of the women's basketball team at the University of South Carolina. During her 13 seasons, she brought them to their first NCAA championship in 2017. She has 5 SEC regular season championships, 6 SEC tournament championships, including the one they just won. Congratulations. She also coached at Temple University for 8 years and led the program to 6 NCAA tournaments. Now, before coaching, the teacher was a student. She played at the University of Virginia, went on to play professionally overseas, and then in the American Basketball League and the WNBA. She is a 3-time Olympic gold medalist, 6-time WNBA All-Star. She was inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2012. She was elected to the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2013. She's also been named the Naismith Coach of the Year. Dawn made history as the only person to win a Naismith Award for the player and coach. I mean, I really struggle putting together a bio for her because her accomplishments are so vast. Coach Staley grew up in North Philadelphia. She's had an incredible career. Her reputation precedes her. She is a leader, a champion. She's strong. She's tough. She's intelligent. She's honest. She's passionate. A true living legend. Here she is talking about what drives her.
My dreams, my journey, all began with passion. And truthfully, I've allowed that passion to guide me. I picked up a basketball at age 8, and my life forever changed. Basketball was never difficult for me. I never felt awkward or unsure. From the moment I picked up a basketball, I just instinctively knew what to do. I felt incomplete when I didn't play, so I played all the time. As I got bigger and stronger, the accolades started coming.
And she does have those accolades. I want to welcome to the shot clock, Coach Staley. Woo! Coach, it's such an honor.
It's an honor to be here. I mean, you guys are energy filled. I'm ready. We got practice right after this. So I'm gonna be ready. I don't even need coffee. You got me hyped. Mina, you got me hyped.
Look, God, listen, I was up early. Daylight savings times to everything. I was like, I'm up early. Listen, I got my green juice. I came ready for you today. So where do you keep these awards? I mean, it's impossible to literally put all your accolades into like a concise paragraph. Do you have a room for your awards? Like, what do you do with them?
Oh, well, right now, actually, I don't have a whole lot of like basketball stuff at my house. So everything is actually here in the office, in our conference room. So we actually made a trophy case, and we enclosed all that stuff in there. We got an alarm system on it. So when recruits come on campus, we just take them to the room. We take them to the room and we show them what they can do when they apply themselves. But that also takes a little bit of sacrifice. I don't know if young people are willing to sacrifice the type of things that I sacrificed. Like, I didn't have any friends when I was growing up. I only really wanted to do sports. So they got a whole lot of stuff that's competing for their time, social media, everything, friends, family, all of that. Whereas for me, I just wanted to play sports. I just wanted to compete in whatever it is that the guys were doing in the neighborhood.
Right.
Coach, thank you for joining us this morning. It's an honor to sit down and speak with you. Can you give us a little insight on what the season has been like for you this year? Of course, it's a very new season, very different, no fans and things of that nature. Can you talk to me give us some insight about how the season has been and how you've been able to keep your ladies and keep your team focused?
I think a lot of is it hard? Yes, it's hard. It's harder for people who aren't organized as coaches, and it's much, much harder for coaches who are so regimented in their norm. When you're regimented in your norm, this COVID will throw you for a loop. Like, you got to be able to pivot. And I think it's the coolest thing. Not that people are getting hurt, but it breaks up the monotony of having to do things the same way. You as a coach have to dig a little deeper and figure out how to keep your players safe, how to keep your staff safe. And it's a lot of communication. It's a lot of Zoom calls. It's a lot of just keeping in touch to make sure our players are adhering to the protocols. And then you as coaches have to realize that mentally it takes a lot out of our players to be able to have to do all of this that's very different than what they've been used to. But you keep it fresh. You keep it fresh. You make stuff fun. You keep them out of, like, I had them over my house. Actually, I had them over my house, and I went on Amazon and picked up this blow up screen, and I projected a movie on the screen outside. So we're watching. I made s'mores. I didn't cook, but I catered in. I mean, it's something to keep them engaged in and off of what they have to deal with on a daily basis, because you got testing every day. Right. You have to, you got testing 3 times a week, but we got testing every day, 7 days leading up to the NCAA tournament. When we get there, we'll have to quarantine for 2 days. And you really can't leave your room. So we're going to make things fun for them. while they're quarantining, I got some, some goodies that I hope the hotel will work with us to set things outside of their room so they can open their door and grab it and enjoy it. You just have to keep things fun and loose, because when you're on the court, we're getting after it, and we don't allow the pandemic to enter into the sanctity of our court. Now it messes up everything outside your court, and having to stay inside and not be young. So when we're having an opportunity to allow them to break away with something that we do to interrupt that, we do it. And I think our players have been super great about it. I just hope and pray that we can get to San Antonio and our team doesn't get impacted by like some of the men's teams that have been impacted, where I think Virginia, my alma mater, the men's program had to shut it down because they had a positive. They couldn't compete for an ACC championship. Duke had to shut it down. So I just don't want to be in the number when it comes to being shut down and not being able to, exercise our passion, which is to play in the tournament.
Yeah. Coach, you have a lane now. Dawn Staley Lane on 25th and Diamond in Philadelphia. Can we get a little clap for Dawn Staley Lane? You have a whole block. You used to play on the block. Now you have a block. Like,
now,
what is that?
Now I bees the block. Isn't that the song?
Right. I bees the block. Tell them. What does that mean to you?
It's cool. I mean, I don't like to pat myself on the back, but I will say this: the city of Columbia actually gave me a street here.
I've seen that
in front of the stadium, and then when I came home to play Temple, I actually was the giver. Like I gave the Hank Gather Center, the recreation center I grew up playing at, the 25th and Diamond. I bought a replica national championship trophy and case that I wanted to give to the rec center, because the little girls and little boys that walk through that center, they can see something tangible that they can touch, they can feel, they can dream. So I wanted to give that to the rec center, and lo and behold, somebody can keep a really good secret. Somebody kept a really good secret.
They popped up, said surprise.
They did, and we walked outside. I'm just like, I didn't know what was going on. We walked outside, and then I see all these people gathering. I do see Darryl Clark, who's the councilman in our district. I mean, it was a ceremony, and I really couldn't believe it. The shock, I was shocked. Because for so long, and it's always going to be 25th and Diamond, but it's going to be 25th and Diamond with a little bit of swag to it, because I grew up there. I mean, it is near and dear to my heart, and I'm so glad and honored that I do have that part of the street named after me.
Coach, your leadership and mentorship is also helping your players on the next level in the WNBA and for life itself. Can you talk to me about the WNBA's impact in 2020, not only in just as far as voter registration and things like that, but just the social justice movements overall? The women in the WNBA led that movement. Can you speak to us and elaborate on what that means to you?
Yeah, I just think the strength of a woman is unmatched. I don't care who you are. What women have to endure, that just their entire lives. But the WNBA women in particular, they were going to be led by their hearts, and their hearts led them to speak out on so many things like voter registration, like social justice, and they got into the politics, leading them to unseating someone that they feel like wasn't inclusive of them and what they represent, and representation matters. So to sit back and see what they've done, what they've been able to do in all different facets of how this country is being ran, and the exposure that they're bringing to things that are unjust, is quite amazing. And they're not done yet. I think they're seeing the fruits of their labor, which gives you a lot more stamina to continue. I can't wait to see what they get around and support, to see the changes that need to be made around our country. More changes.
Coach, when you graduated, there was no WNBA. That's why you went overseas. Now we see the WNBA growing. Would you ever consider coaching in the WNBA? And then what are your thoughts on a team in Philly?
It's weird. I played in the WNBA. I get a chance to work with WNBA players through USA Basketball, being a part of the national team. There really isn't anything in me that makes me want to coach in the WNBA. And I guess for me, I'm a dream merchant for young people, and to do what I do on this level, I'm kind of ensuring that the league stands the test of time. I think the league is in its 25th year, and I believe because of what we do here on the ground, meaning the ground in growing leaders through basketball. The league is in a good place. Like I do believe that I was able to coach Asia Wilson,
right. And Asia was number one, right? She went number one.
She went number one, but she was on the forefront of all of that. Breonna Taylor, social justice, voter registration. She was on the front line, and you don't just learn that when you get to be grown. You learn. There's a foundation that's been created, a foundation in her home. And then we continued that while she was here at South Carolina. And then she just continued it, as a young adult. And that's what I want to protect, to be able to show them that you got to be able to navigate through this life. And I think that's my best work, being able to work with younger people and just guiding them so they can be the protectors of our game. They can be the protectors of our country. And they can be the protectors of themselves, because they do take care of themselves in order for them to take care of so many other things and people.
Do you think Philly needs a team?
Philly, absolutely, I do think is ready for a team. And there's talk of a team that's coming. I just need the Philly fans to embrace it for a little bit, not do their regular, the regular.
Well, let me say, the preliminary talk, I feel like people have really been for it. I feel like it's been positive energy around it, to be honest. We've been talking about this.
It's always positive in the beginning, but don't go on the 2-game losing streak. 2 games, not 3, 4, 5, 2 games.
Coach, can we hang on to you for a couple more minutes? Okay, go ahead, T.
Coach, could you explain to us what it would mean for your team to win a national championship in this climate?
I think it would be huge in that. I mean, I want that representation matters. When you're able to see it, you're meaning someone who grew up like I grew up. There are not very many Black coaches in our profession. And when a Black coach wins it, it not only uplifts Black people, but it Black people, coaches, communities, but it also uplifts people who aren't part of like the upper echelon. Like I feel like when we win the championship, it is for the people. Like people who have been shunned, for people who have been looked over, for people, and I'm just not talking about Black people, because a lot of people have been looked over, and a lot of people don't think people can amount to anything. So we can be that beacon of hope to say, hey, if you're into overcoming, if you're into odds beating, we're your champion, we're your light. So look to the light, and hopefully if we're able to do it again, that's what people can support and embrace and wrap their arms around.
Coach, I want to bring you into our conversation earlier. Do you think Joel's injury is going to hurt his MVP candidacy?
I don't. I mean, Joel's playing at the top of the, and he'll tell you himself. That's what I like about Joel. It shouldn't. An injury is part of the business. So he should be judged and voted on what he's been doing all season long, and that is playing better than any player in the league.
Right.
Coach,
It looks scary though. It looks scary. I
right.
I had to
My heart
do
pumped
that.
out. I was like, good God, Tobias bed. I was coming up with a lineup in my head already. Who we gonna move? Like who gonna run the offense through?
See, that's what I love. This is exactly what I love. Like what you just said, it's a lifestyle. Like sports is a lifestyle in Philly. And when I came here to South Carolina, people really didn't understand, like, what we're trying to do. They think it's just a fleeting moment, just a movement. It really isn't a movement. Where I'm from, sports is a lifestyle.
Ball is life.
Yes.
Right?
Fortunately for us, we got we call them fams, not fans, fams, because they're part of our family that they want to know when the schedule's coming out. They want to put their off days. They want to take time off. They want to save up to get season tickets. That is, that is the love that I'm most proud of in coming here to South Carolina, because that's more like what I'm used to. And people, and they don't like when we lose. They tell us exactly what we should have done, how we should move forward. And it's a beautiful thing. It's something that I'm used to.
Coach, I wanted to also pick your brain. And I don't know if you've had an opportunity to pay attention with everything that's going on. You spoke about the unseating that took place because of a lot of the voices that were used in the WNBA. And now we have a former WNBA player, and Renee Montgomery, who actually has ownership in one of the WNBA teams as far as the Atlanta Dream. What are your thoughts on former female athletes having ownership of teams? And what are your thoughts on Renee being the first former WNBA player to actually have ownership in one of the NBA teams, with one of the WNBA teams? Excuse me.
Yep, I think it's the popular right thing to do. It's the popular thing to do right now, because you want people who have been there, done it, and we bring a different perspective to the boardroom when you've actually had experience. Other people around that boardroom, they probably have been in the business corporately, white collarly, whereas players have a totally different perspective in how to move not only the Atlanta Dream, but also just move the rest of the league, because we're going to give you some insight that other teams who don't have former players a part of their group, that's special. Renee has been, and she hasn't really been quiet about it. She's been moving at a pace in which made herself valuable and made herself an asset to that group that bought the Atlanta Dream. So it isn't just, I don't think they're just saying, here's her name, just come be a part of this. No, they're saying, hey, this is a partnership. We're going to listen to you. We're going to allow you a space to learn and grow the business while teaching us some of the things that we don't know about the business, and being in a locker room, and and being a woman of color who is the majority of the WNBA. So I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's going to be more of Renee Montgomery's moving forward in other franchises.
Okay, Coach, I know you got to go to practice, but real quickly, your thoughts on, your favorite place to come in Philly, and then your thoughts on Doc Rivers as a coach. Quickly, go.
Favorite place, it's a French crepe place that's at 6th and South 6th and Bainbridge. Go there every time I go home. And Doc Rivers, no brainer. Doc Rivers will bring us an NBA championship.
Amen to that.
Yes. Law of attraction. You better put it out there. Thank you so much. We are humbled by you giving us your time in the midst of a tournament. Congratulations and good luck tonight. I know you're gonna, see the seeding tonight and see who you're going up against. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Mina, Terrell. Appreciate y'all.
All right, bye, Coach Dawn Staley here on the Shot Clock. Let's get to a word from one of our sponsors.
Stop overpaying for wireless. Switch to Boost Mobile and watch your bill drop. Plans starting at $10 a month that match your data needs. Think your phone company can get down like that? Get started for as low as $10 a month. All on America's largest 5G network for less. Boost Mobile.
Just throw the whole clock away.
Just you say overtime.
It's overtime. No, we don't baby, it's a double overtime. We in triple overtime. We in quadruple overtime. I've never seen a quadruple one. But if they have one, we be in it. Okay. It's the Shot Clock. I'm Mina SayWhat, your host, Terrell Thomas, a senior sports and entertainment editor at These Urban Times. I'm so filled today. So let's talk about who we're taking on this week. We got a series of home games. The Knicks tomorrow night, the Bucks on Wednesday, the Kings Saturday, and the Knicks again on Sunday, and that's away. We're going up to New York. What are you going to see? What are you looking forward to, Terrell, especially since we don't have Joel in these games?
I'm looking forward to seeing how the role players continue to grow. Seth Curry's looked good. Dwight Howard's looked good. We spoke about Tobias Harris. So I want to see this could be a blessing in disguise because other players will be able to find their roles, strengthen their roles as we get closer to the playoffs.
That's exactly how I was looking at it. I mean, if we are going to get to the playoffs, we need our bench to step up. You know, we need the contributing players to be consistent every night. And this is a good test to really put them to the fire and see if they can, hold the number one seed in, against some really good teams and hold Joel down. We're going to see how we're looking when Joel comes back. Are we still the number one seed? Is, is Brooklyn going to beat us? Are the Bucks going to beat us? So I think this is a really good test and I can't wait to see how our guys do. Thank you guys for watching on our social platforms. Next week, we have another amazing woman. I mean, I get so excited thinking about it. I don't even want to say anything, but look out on our social media for, the announcement at R&B Philly, at Mina SayWhat. Thank you, Terrell, for your time. And thank you at home for watching the Shot Clock. I'm Mina SayWhat. Talk to you next week. Thanks for watching the Shot Clock. I'm your host, Mina SayWhat, and you got something you want to talk about next week? You can always hit me up on social media at Mina SayWhat, and make sure you join us 12 o'clock next Monday on R&B Philly's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll see you then.